That sold the movie.
Okay, let's say I give you a thing of lettuce right now. It says one of these doesn't have the parasite in it. Are you going to eat that whole thing of lettuce?
No.
No, I don't think so, sir. Hello, welcome to another edition of Popcorn Bucket List. And I'm going to right now, I'm going to make a bet. I'm going to say what's going to come out first here, essentially. The 500th episode of this show. For the record, we're at like 240-ish, something like that.
Okay.
Give or take around
halfway there.
Yeah, 500 episode of this show, or the Batman Part 2 finally coming out.
That's a...
Because it got delayed again. So
Rob's doing a lot of stuff.
And by the time... Yeah, I guess...
Because, like, just this year, the drama,
the
Odyssey, and Dune.
Yep.
He's probably in Avengers, too.
We can't say that he's not.
Do you know how many characters are going to be in there?
Probably more in Secret Wars, actually.
Yeah.
But I just mark your calendars here. What's going to happen first, the PBL 500th episode or Batman Part 2 coming out here? And look, I've been on their side, like, hey, take your time, whatever. Now you've pushed it to like 2028. I'm like, it's February. That's like around my birthday. That's my last straw, right? Just keep it there. We'll call it an early birthday present from Matt Reeves to me, and we'll call it good.
Is it for filming or have they filmed it yet? Or is it?
They've like started.
Okay.
Like
so
some like test footage came out or something like that. So,
okay.
I don't know. But anyways. So yeah, another big episode here this week. You know, I was going into this week. It's kind of a quiet week, one of the quieter ones of the summer. I was like, all right, it's going to be an easy one. We had a busy one last few weeks here or whatever.
Yeah.
It's going to be smooth sailing. We're going to get in. We're going to get out. We're going to move on with our lives. It's going to be a quiet, quick episode. And then we had another update here as far as the Paramount Warner Brothers merger here. So another big episode for you folks here this week, I guess. Here we'll try. We probably won't be focusing too much here because it's not like it was a lot of information. It was just kind of a big thing happening here. So. Let's get into another edition of Popcorn Bucket News. This is the most I've used this graphic, I think, ever since I've created it, honestly. As of Monday, the U.S. District Judge granted the restraining order that those coalition of 12 states were essentially asking for last week. Want a little bit of update on that, or maybe miss that? Jump back to last week where we talk about that. Basically, this is a 14-day restraining order. And the reason why they announced it or whatever, or released it, was because basically the judge agreed with the argument that this deal would reduce competition. That was the main argument of those 12 states, of those other lawyers and everything like that, are saying, like, we don't like this. They're saying it's going to increase competition. We think it's going to be the opposite.
Yep.
And again, I'm not like the biggest expert in the business side of this stuff or whatever, but just on the surface, on paper, that's what it looks like. You're eliminating one of the big studios here.
Yeah.
So by definition, you would think that would decrease competition. So
I agree 100%. If you are absorbing somebody else that you're competing with, that's pretty big. You're just getting bigger, and less people then can challenge you.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think that was their main argument here. So yes, right now we're in. So this is Tuesday. We're recording this here now. So by Thursday, about a couple days have gone by, and this restraining order being passed here. So trying to put this into sort of a little bit of perspective here, what exactly this is, what exactly it's doing. The best metaphor I can come up with is, think of it like an NFL game where one of the teams has called a 30-second timeout. It's not necessarily because they need to come up with a different game plan. It's because they just wanted to kind of give a little bit of breathing room here to let the refs and let other people review the footage of the last play here and actually make the right call. They feel like this was a little rushed here. They're like, okay, we don't think enough eyes have seen this, so we're going to call a timeout. We're going to stop this here just for a little bit. We want some other eyes on this. We want someone else to take another look at this because we don't really trust who has looked at it so far and everything like that. We need another look at it and everything. So that's kind of where we are right now in the game. It's like we're in the fourth quarter. We're knocking on the 2-minute...
knocking on the door.
Yeah, we're knocking on the 2-minute warning here and everything like that. We need another quick look at this play here. This is going to change the game.
Yep.
Because, like we maybe said last week here, Paramount was really actually trying to hope to get this done this week.
Yeah, they've been trying to just keep moving, get this done. Let's get it done now. And I don't know. A lot of times when you see that from one side in particular, usually isn't good.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I do think some people are looking at this and they're saying like they are kind of rushing it here. They're pushing it as quick as they can here. Is that because they're hiding something? That could be it.
Could be.
There
Not
is
saying
a,
it is.
There is a possible other motivation here, however. As part of this deal, there is a sort of penalty if they don't actually get it done at the end of September. I guess this was written in or whatever. They want it done by the end of the summer here. I guess, yeah, September is end of summer, I suppose, whatever. If you ask kids in school, they wouldn't say that. But officially, if they don't get the deal done by the end of September, October 1st, basically there's sort of kind of a late fee here. I think it was like over 6 months, it's like $650 million. To put that into context, that's a little over $7 million a day.
Oof.
Basically, if they cannot get this wrapped up by the end of September.
Yeah.
So if it were me, even though September is about a month or so, a little over a month
you
or so,
got to get rolling.
Yeah, I wouldn't dilly-dally on that if each day I got charged $7 million because I didn't get this done.
Crazy.
That's like if I was told my homework assignment was due at the end of this next semester, and I was told, by the way, you'll get charged $70 per day that you don't get it turned in.
Done.
I'd be working on it right now, probably.
Yep. You'd get it done quick.
I get why they're maybe pushing this a little bit more here. So, again, like I said, this is just a big thing, not a lot of information. So, like we always end with this, what happens next? Well, like I said, this is a 2-week pause as of Monday. Again, just to give some other people a chance to look this over. And then possibly August 3rd, there will be another injunction here where this is all going to go down. We're going to kind of look over it again here. And that will be huge. Either A, some other people are going to look at this and say, no, continue as you were. Get to work on it. Let's get this over with. Or they could possibly say, no, this actually does need to stop here, and it possibly gets stopped for another couple months.
Yeah.
And that's where that penalty fee is really going to start kicking Paramount in the butt here. So, yeah, like I said, not a lot of information, but kind of a big thing here. So, more than likely, knowing our luck, something will happen next week, or at the very least 2 weeks from now. And when that does, we'll update you on that then, I guess. But before we really get more into this episode here, we'd like to take a moment to shout out our friends over at the Card Farmers of Minnesota here. These last few weeks have been pretty big for them here because, you know, the location change. This was very strategic. It's very downtown. But also here in Marshall, you got that 3rd Street kind of event here every week in the summer, Eats and Beats. So I've gone there at least once now, enjoyed some music, get a little bit of food, and you can stop by the Card Farmers. So they're open during that time there, and it's been pretty cool to check out everything like that. I know you've been doing a lot of Pokemon stuff.
Yep. Yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Speaking of that, actually tomorrow, July 24th, we've got our sports trade night, which is going to be huge. Everybody brings their own cards. They trade with people. There will be some slight vendoring. People will bring a lot of stuff that they want to sell. So yeah, come on down. It's going to be great. We got pizza. We're giving away door prizes, giving away packs. We got TJ Hawkinson signed mini helmet that we're giving away a couple of like baseball booster packs and all kinds of stuff. And then Sunday we got Pokemon TCG tournament at noon. And then we got Pokemon Go tournament Sunday night at 5. So yeah, the word on the street is there's maybe a good amount of people coming from other towns to come play. So it should be a fun time. Should be a good one.
Yeah, I just hope the NASCAR race gets done before that Pokemon Go tournament so I'm not distracted.
Yeah, well, we'll have a TV on for
that. I'm just going to use that as an excuse because I always get my butt kicked in that first round anyway. I'm just going to be like, oh yeah, I was listening to the race. That was why. That's why I lost. That's how that happened. So, yeah, a lot of fun things happening there. Like I said, you've done Pokemon trading nights before. It's kind of nice to see now some sports card trading nights here as well. I got a bunch of old ones I still got to get through here. I don't know if I'm going to have time to get through them all, or I might just show up and be like, who wants one?
Who wants one?
Like that. And I end up giving away a $4,000 card or something, knowing my luck.
Never know.
But, yeah, you never truly know what you're going to find at these things here. And you never know what you're going to find at the shop and everything like that. So make sure you check them out here. If you want to know their hours or just other information, other updates, announcements, make sure you follow their Facebook page, the Card Farmers Minnesota, over on Facebook. There, you guys keep people pretty up to date as far as what's going on and everything like that.
Yep.
So,
there'll be a post. Yeah, there'll be a lot to post talking about this stuff. So
yeah, looking forward to it for sure. But let's move on then into the opening spotlight. And, this was one of those I really do try to plan out, months ahead of time, a lot of these episodes. Every once in a while, we'll get to a week, though, however, and I'll have to change my plan, or all of a sudden I'll come up with a different plan. This one was a little bit more last minute. So we're maybe not going to go into as much detail as I think some fans of this would like us to, but also try not to spoil too much here for people who haven't gotten into this. I'm talking about the Avatar franchise. And no, we are not talking about the blue people who have made James Cameron rich and fund all of his submarine expeditions here. At this point, he's probably so rich he probably can build his own naval submarine at this point, right?
As long as he probably could.
As long as he keeps making those Avatar movies, if not now, by the time the fourth one comes out. But no, we're not talking about the blue people from Pandora. We're talking about The Last Airbender. And the reason why we're doing that is because there's a new animated movie that's continuing the continuity here coming out this week. Avatar Aang, The Last Airbender. And so we just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about this franchise here, give some people some information, just kind of the basics of what to know in case you haven't seen the series or anything else like that before seeing this movie here. And, unfortunately, a lot of people probably just know Avatar and the franchise from the M. Night Shyamalan movie.
My favorite.
Oh, okay. I'm going to get you a Pinocchio nose that grows every time you say something stupid or sarcastic.
They do have a good scene where they talk about he hands him a couple of arrows and he breaks them, and then he hands him the big stack of arrows and he can't break it because when you're all together, you can't be broken. It's a great.
That's okay. That's one good scene.
Yep.
Name another one.
That sold the movie.
Okay, let's say I give you a thing of lettuce right now. It says one of these doesn't have the parasite in it. Are you going to eat that whole thing of lettuce?
No,
I don't think so, sir. But the actual original animated series is pretty good. I'm actually kind of rewatching it right now because I saw it as a kid, but I really don't remember it. I didn't really get a chance to appreciate it as much here. So for those of you who maybe haven't seen it again, here's just a little bit of what you need to know before going into this new movie here. Let's first talk a little bit about the timeline here. This one took me a little while to find here. This wasn't as readily available. From what I've read, though, however, this takes place roughly 12 years after the conclusion of the 100-Year War, a.k.a. after the conclusion of the original 3 seasons series there. So about 12 years later, a lot of these characters are now in their mid-20s range here. So a little bit more adult, a little bit more mature.
A little more mature.
Exactly, yeah. And, unfortunately, I think fans are a little disappointed because that meant a lot of these guys had different voice actors for this movie.
Yeah.
Which is ironic because a lot of times with voice actors, even if they're playing kids, it is usually adults voicing them. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people are kind of like, well, you could have just brought back the original people probably to do these.
Yeah.
But they didn't.
And their voice might sound a little more aged, too.
Yeah.
So
that was a little thing I kind of read here. So, yeah, this is roughly taking place in what's known as the year 112 AG. Now, if you remember when we did our Star Wars discussion before Mandalorian, there was a big thing in the fandom as far as how the timeline works, where similar to our timeline, you have BC, AD, or whatever. Mm-hmm. In Star Wars, it was BY before Battle of Yavin, ABY after Battle of Yavin, basically pinpointing a very specific moment in this fandom or in this franchise or whatever, and they're kind of using that for the timeline here.
Yep.
AG, this one's a little bit more of a darker one. Stands for After Genocide.
Oh.
Yeah. The 100-Year War did not start off very great.
Very good.
Surprise there. Yeah, you're called the 100-Year War, not for sunshine and roses.
That's true.
So there was a huge thing with the Fire Nation. They committed the
atrocities.
Atrocities is probably the best way to put it. So every time you hear someone refer to something as AG in this timeline, it's after you know what. So roughly taking place 112 AG here. And like I said, pretty much all the characters are about mid-20s. Ong, especially here, he's about 24. Mm-hmm. What's also kind of interesting is, I guess not a lot, for those who don't know, one of the other characters in here, Katara, her and Aang both get married, have kids, but it's not really determined yet when that happens. So we don't really know if that has happened yet in this movie.
Yeah.
If they've gotten married yet. From the trailer, it doesn't look like they have kids yet.
Yeah.
But they are a couple.
Yeah.
So we know that for sure.
Interesting.
This point in time in the franchise is known as the Reconstruction period. At this point, the 100-Year War is over. So now they're trying to rebuild. They're trying to not just rebuild physically, but rebuild all the ties and the treaties and just people in general.
Yeah.
You had the Fire Nation do a lot of bad stuff
to a lot of people.
To a lot of people. So they're trying to rebuild trust with a lot of people here, and that's pretty hard, especially considering how the start of your war started with a genocide. So, like I said, it's been about a decade now that they've been in this reconstruction period, trying to rebuild trust and everything like that. So, obviously, people still don't trust the Fire Nation, despite the fact that it's gotten some new rulers that are pretty good and everything like that. Some people still don't really trust the Avatar here so much. So that's another huge part that's going to be part of this movie. So that's kind of where we are as far as the setting, as far as the timeline goes and everything like that. Any questions you have?
Nope.
I feel like it's good to ask questions for you just in case I missed something here, in case other people want other information.
I haven't seen, I remember watching the M. Night Shyamalan one in theaters. I did watch the original when it was first aired, but I haven't been like a huge following it to the T.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about the characters then here. Like we've already kind of mentioned here, we've got Aang, who's the Avatar, a.k.a. The Last Airbender.
Yep.
He's the hero. He's the Luke Skywalker of this story and everything, the chosen one, so to speak, the one who's going to conquer all the four elements and that eventually ends the war and everything like that. He's during the show, he's pretty immature here. I will say, just from the trailer, it looks like, now that he's about 24 years old, he's a little bit more mature. He's a little bit more of a leader.
Yeah.
Before in the series, he was the big gun.
He was just a kid.
Yeah, he was. I mean, they were all kind of kids, but
Yeah.
they all had a little bit more maturity than him.
Yeah.
He was the big gun, but he needed someone to kind of tell him where to point.
Yeah, he was very silly and goofy, and yeah.
He feels like kind of if you had like mystic powers or something like that. Like
Maybe I do have mystic powers.
Oh, God help us all. What would be your mystic? If you had a choice to control any of the four elements, what one would you choose?
Either water or air.
See, I think I wouldn't. Yeah, probably air, because
air, you could fly.
Yeah, flying, I'd be able to save on gas money.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
Flying would be awesome.
That'd be very nice. So yeah, like I said, he's kind of the main character. He's known as the Last Airbender and everything like that. Or is he? That's kind of what this movie sort of implies here. We also got Katara. She's a waterbender who, like I said before, ends up falling in love with the Last Airbender here. Eventually they have kids, but again, I don't think that's happened quite yet. She is also very intelligent, very headstrong as well, and a very good waterbender as well. So she's a very strong character and one who's a little bit of a fan favorite. Katara's older brother, Sokka, he does not have any bending abilities. He's really kind of the only person in this 4 or 5 person group that doesn't have any powers. Mm-hmm. So it kind of gives him a little bit of a disadvantage, but it makes it so that he kind of has to earn his spot and earn the respect of other people. His friends respect him, obviously, but he kind of gets underestimated a lot of times in these battles. But throughout the years, he trains, he learns, he becomes a little bit more master of weaponry, stuff like that. It's because people underestimate him that he's able to then kind of win his battles. Plus, he's got a lot of sarcastic humor.
Yeah, he's a sarcastic bully architecture.
Yeah, I kind of relate to him a little bit there in that sense here. But one of the other ones is Toph. She is a blind earthbender. Very interesting character here because she's another person that a lot of people underestimate because
she's blind.
Yeah, she's blind. However, she uses her earthbending abilities to kind of use as a sonar, very similar to how Daredevil fights in Marvel.
Yep.
And therefore is able to kind of sense her enemy's attacks, counter it in that sort of way.
Ben Affleck's Daredevil?
I was thinking more of like the Netflix Daredevil. But,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, if that's
the
one
that
you
popped
want,
in my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you should get a little bit more cultured, but yeah. Like the other interesting thing about her, though, that also kind of plays into this movie, however, is she eventually discovers metal bending. So before there used to be just the 4. Then she kind of discovers metal bending. Basically, it's pretty much what it implies. Yeah, bending metal. And I believe sometime between the end of the show and this movie, she opens kind of the first school that teaches this. So she is the pioneering force behind this new power and everything like that. But last but certainly not least, we got Zuko, formerly Prince Zuko.
Ooh.
And every time I hear that, I always think of Zuko from Greece as well. No relation.
Zuko.
No relation, but just for some reason, that's where my head goes to. He was a firebender, or is a firebender, I should say here. And like we said, it was the Fire Nation who started this war. So at the early part of this show, him and Aang were enemies, mortal enemies they were fighting pretty much every episode.
Yep.
Eventually, however, and this is kind of a minor spoiler, but important for this movie, he does switch over to their side. Mainly because his father is the ultimate jerk. Like, as far as fathers go, when we had a discussion about, like, best worst fathers, now that I think about it, I probably should have put him in the worst category.
Yeah.
Really, truly. But, yeah, eventually he joins the group. And he's also very integral in this whole Reconstruction period. Because now that it's, you know, this group, these heroes, everyone knows these are the good guys. They see Zuko with them. He's a huge part of, like, trying to bridge that gap between the other nations and the Fire Nations. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like, hey, if you got Zuko's stamp of approval, all right, we trust him. We don't trust the Fire Nation at large, but I think we like this guy.
Yeah.
So if he's saying stuff that's good, then we'll maybe trust him. So he's a huge part in that. So, do you consider yourself an avid trading card fan? Or are you looking to start your own collection? Then be sure to check out the Card Farmers of Marshall, Minnesota. Whether you're into Pokemon, sports, Magic the Gathering, or anything in between, the Card Farmers have just the thing for you. The Card Farmers of Minnesota, the perfect place for any trading card fan, located on 109 North 3rd Street in Marshall, Minnesota. Let's move on to the weekly preview here. For it being kind of a slower week, there are actually more than a few things to check out here. So we'll talk a little bit about each of these here. First things first, coming to limited theaters here, Pinocchio Unstrung.
Awesome.
Unstrung. Yeah, that's the right one there. This one's coming straight to theaters, rated R. From the same people who've been bringing you a lot of these other sort of characters that are entering the public domain and turning them into horror movies.
Love it.
Now we're giving Pinocchio a shot here. Yeah, you got Geppetto. You've got the creepiness here. It's a little bloody. He just wants to be a real boy in the most awful way possible.
Yeah, and it looks awesome. I can't wait for this. I'm pumped. I think Cricket, they did a good job with Cricket. Cricket looks awesome. Sounds great. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I love these like takes on old, like you said, they just are going into the public domain. It's like, what, it's got to be 100 years or something, and then they can
give or take
70 or something like that. Yeah. So like, I love it. I just think it's going to be so cool.
I will say, out of all of these,
this one looks the best.
Yes. The other ones were very much like very bloody, gratuitous, like very B movie, and they knew they were doing that, and that's all fine and good. This one actually looks like it had a little bit more thought into it.
Yeah, this one to me, like, I agree with you 100%. The other ones have that B movie feel, but that's what they were going for because they wanted to make it quick and they wanted just to have fun. Winnie the Pooh slasher movie. That's wild. But this one seems almost more like in the veins of like The Mummy and like some of those where they like The Wolfman. Not saying it's going to be as good as those, but it's like they're trying to do something new but with a serious tone.
There's a motivation behind this character other than just let's kill crazy, whatever.
Yeah.
He, like I said it jokingly before, he wants to be a real boy.
Yeah.
So what is he doing? He's taking pieces off of people to become a real boy.
Yeah.
It's like that from a horror movie concept is combining with this childhood story, like actually kind of works in my mind.
It's
like,
going to be sweet.
Makes sense. So
it's going to be good.
Yeah. It's a little unsettling. I think from what I read, the Pinocchio is essentially like an animatronic. Mm-hmm. So similar like Grogu in Star Wars. So it kind of, it's real. It's there physically. So, because like the director wanted to give that realism, but it still is a little off-putting when it does that.
Well, it gets into that uncanny valley stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Coming out to some limited theaters here is Motor City, also rated R here. You got Alan Richardson doing another action movie here, but this one's a little different.
Yeah, looks awesome.
It's basically being called like an hour 40-minute long silent movie.
Yeah, I think it's going to be almost like Dunkirk, where there's so much action and stuff going on, you just sit back and watch it happen. And I'm pumped for that because I'd like for him to get his shot to do something like that.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to put it for sure. I didn't think of it that way. But yeah, essentially no dialogue. No one's talking in this movie.
Except for Shailene Woodley.
Okay, there's a little dialogue, I guess. Yeah, but
go back to Aaron Rodgers or whatever. Get out of here. This is Alan's movie.
I mean, Yeah, whatever. I don't have as much beef against Shailene Woodley, I guess, as other
I
people
actually
do.
don't have a lot of beef. I like her.
I don't think she's in enough to be like picked on or whatever here.
I'm just waiting for Divergent 4 or whatever to come out.
We're still waiting, Hollywood.
We're still waiting.
We're waiting on you.
Yeah. We will hit 500 episodes before that comes out. Guarantee you that.
We'll hit 5,000 episodes before we get to another, whatever movie here. But yeah, like I said, it's an action movie here. Basically, Alan Richardson's character, he is proposed to the Shailene Woodley character. However, this drug kingpin or whatever frames him, so he goes to prison. And he gets tough in prison, man.
He gets tough.
He basically turns into Alan Richardson in real life.
Yeah.
They had to like put on the clothes on him to hide his buffness.
Yeah.
Early on, they had to give him the 70s hair and all that. So now he's out and he's looking for revenge in the Motor City. At first I was almost gonna dismiss this movie because I'm like, okay, Alan Richardson, another action movie. I don't know. Besides Reacher, there's not a lot that they've done different too much yet. And then I finally did watch the trailer. I was like, oh, no, they actually are doing something different.
Yeah.
All right, good on you. But moving on here to the movie we already talked about a little bit here, Avatar: Aang, The Last Airbender. Now, we talked a little bit about how our main character is known as The Last Airbender because, all the others were wiped out during the 100-Year War and everything like that. But the big thing about this movie is that another one is discovered. So the big question is can he help carry on the traditions? Can he help Aang rebuild the monastery and the monks of the airbending? Can this guy even be trusted?
Don't know.
He's been, missing how long?
Yeah,
or whatever.
it's like,
is there nefarious
did he
circumstances?
freeze? Like, what happened?
Yeah.
What happened?
Exactly. One of the driving things about this is that Dave Bautista is going to be voicing this new character here in this movie. I'm very much looking forward to that, I think.
Same. I like Dave Bautista. He's branching out. I remember a couple of years ago he talked about he didn't want to have to do any more movies where he has to take his shirt off. Like that was one thing he didn't want to do anymore. And he wanted to express it. Like, I mean, we saw a completely different one with him with like Cabin in the Woods or whatever that one was called. That was an M. Night Shyamalan film too.
Yeah.
So like he is trying new things, which I really appreciate.
Yeah. Yeah, I respect him for that too and everything. And I've said this before, I think he's the best wrestler turned actor. I know we've had a few now, but he, for me, by miles, is the best one
I
here.
agree.
So
I agree.
Yeah, looking forward to see his voice performance in this here for sure. But we've already talked a lot about this franchise, this universe and everything like that. It is a very big fan favorite franchise here. Those who do watch it love it. And so there was a lot of pushback as to why this wasn't released to theaters. Originally it was going to. Mm-hmm. And then apparently Paramount said, we'll just do the streaming thing here. And then, as I read yesterday, apparently this whole movie got leaked online about a couple months ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's probably why they're just doing it digital.
Well, I can't remember if that happened before or after they moved from theaters to just streaming here now. But depending on the timeline, that very well could be the reason. Yeah. But I do know a lot of fans of this basically are like, why didn't you release it to theaters? We would have loved to go and seen it. And maybe this would have shown that there is a lot more potential here, or maybe it would have shown that the fan base is smaller than we realized. It just is a very
passionate.
Thank you. That's probably the perfect word there. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing it though, personally, just to see these characters grow up, seem a little different here. So. All's coming out this weekend. We got 72 Hours. This one's coming straight to Netflix, rated R. Kevin Hart comedy, where he essentially gets invited to this bachelor party of a group of guys that he's not really familiar with, I guess, here. I don't know. I had some questions watching this trailer. Like, how did you get in the group chat?
How terrible was that green screen in that one scene? Why did you put that in your trailer?
Which scene were you talking about again?
The one where like the cops are there and they're like, "Put your hands up." So they put their hands up and they're naked, and it's like, this looks really bad. What happened here?
Yeah,
like, is this going to be like an influencer heavy movie where we're going to see like famous influencer people? I couldn't tell you any because I don't have any of that stuff. But like those 4 dudes, to me they looked like TikTok bros.
Well, 2 of them are on SNL. They're like cast members on SNL.
Really?
Yeah. And I actually really enjoy them. Marcelo Hernandez, is on SNL, as well as Ben Marshall.
Oh, he's the guy on the far left.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Ben Marshall, he was part of that Do Not Destroy team.
Yeah.
And then one of them left, and one of them just staying on as writer, and that he became more of a cast member. He's got the reddish hair. He's a little bit taller. And they're actually really funny on SNL here.
Yeah.
And part of me almost worries that they're going to be the only funny things in this movie here, probably. I don't know. As I was watching this, it did kind of remind me of another Kevin Hart movie, the one he did with Josh Gad, where he's like a fake best man.
Fake best man. Yeah.
I can't even remember the title. I do remember liking that movie, though.
Yeah.
Because it felt like there was a little bit of heart in it. And almost part of me wondered, what if you had rewritten this script to be like the prequel to this movie? Be like, this was the first time he did that.
Yeah.
And part of me almost thought that's what it was going to be, but
who knows? Maybe they'll have a joke about it in there.
They'll probably have a couple jokes, and they'll probably think they're both hilarious, but whatever. I don't know. I didn't laugh too much at this one here personally. I just feel like they were focusing too much on Kevin Hart being old, which is he even that old?
He's kind of old.
He doesn't look old though.
Sure he does.
Okay, let me know. What's his age? Is that what you're looking up right now?
I'm looking up right now.
Okay.
Kevin?
Yep.
Take a guess.
Take a guess. Do we want to do higher or lower? I'm gonna say 44.
Carter, what do you think?
What? How's he gonna?
4.
Is it
7.
No, it's 6.
6, 7.
No, he's saying 46.
46.
Yep.
You're close. 47.
Shoot.
He just turned 47 on July 6th.
That's not too old, I feel like.
No.
That's what I'm saying is, like, I feel like they focus too much on those jokes there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll have to see. I feel like Kevin Hart Netflix comedies haven't really done as well, so I don't know why they keep trying them here. But speaking of comedies, we do have another one here to talk about. This one coming straight to Apple TV Plus. It is called The Dink. This one's rated PG-13. Basically, a all-star tennis player gets a little injury, so he has to stay in shape a little bit, but can't go too hard, so he goes into the world of pickleball. It was bound to happen eventually here. Yep. A sports comedy movie about
this is like
pickleball.
our first big pickleball.
Yeah,
movie.
this is essentially the first one here, so kind of surprised it didn't happen sooner. But what do we think about this one?
It'll be interesting because pickleball. I want to see how they play the pickleball people. How are they all just old people? Because I know a lot of young people that play pickleball. I know a lot of people that play pickleball. I played pickleball.
There better be because they're building that new place downtown. But
I played pickleball when I was younger. When I was a kid, it was kind of popular because we learned about it in gym, and then everybody loved it. And then it disappeared, and then all of a sudden it's like, pickleball's back.
See, and I don't think I ever played pickleball. I don't know if I missed that or whatever, but literally when it kind of became a big thing here again, I just thought this was a brand new thing. But then, I think I have heard from other people like you have said, we used to play that as a kid. It's just having a resurgence. I literally thought this was a brand new thing a couple years ago. So. Well,
and I think we only did it for a season at school, but during that season, everybody loved it. Everybody wanted to play. We'd play it all the time. So,
I will say, as far as this movie goes here, I do have a little bit more faith in this comedy here because you do have Ben Stiller who's producing. He's also starring in it a little bit here, but he's producing it. And I feel like, especially nowadays, he is very selective about his projects.
Yep.
He usually picks them pretty good. He usually is very good kind of behind the scenes and stuff a little bit more now. Mm-hmm. Plus, you think of one of the other last sports comedies he did, Dodgeball, The True Underdog Story. I think that's one of the funniest comedies ever. So I like to think that'll help this out a little bit as well here. But you got Jake Johnson as the main character here. Like I said, he's the tennis star who has to turn to pickleball here. Chloe Fineman, another SNL star, just announced she was leaving the show, however, but is going to be in this movie. Patton Oswalt, Chris Parnell.
It looks like they're
John McEnroe.
Yeah, it looks like there's going to be some cameos too, like pickleball players.
Oh yeah, for sure. So I don't know. I think this one's actually got a pretty good chance of being pretty good here.
Yep.
Again, I'm not big in pickleball, but maybe this is the way I learned a little bit.
There you go.
Could learn the rules from it, I suppose. But that's all the movies coming out here this weekend. Let's move on to some number one recommends. I believe I got you listed first. So why don't you hit us with your number one recommend?
I'm going with the very obvious pick. Best film, second best film, best film of the year so far. We are going with Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. Acting was phenomenal. Cinematography was phenomenal. Thought-provoking. It delivered on everything that I thought he would deliver on. It was beautiful. The pacing was great. All the actors did awesome. It was. I was happy. My only regret is I couldn't watch it in IMAX. That's the only thing. Because I think especially some of the sea battles and some of the sea stuff would have looked a lot cooler on an IMAX.
Do you think they had to use like a very big umbrella to protect their IMAX camera from all that rainwater?
I'm sure they had to do something because he's already wrecked, what, 1, 2?
Yeah, he for sure wrecked 1 in
Batman.
The Dark Knight, I believe it was, yeah.
So,
which is kind of a funny clip, but it's funny to me because I don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, well, it's so funny too because like he is primarily the number one person using IMAX stuff. So your number one person broke something, but it's not really that big a deal because he's your best.
The Dark Knight made $1 billion. They could pay to have it replaced. It's fine.
Hopefully this one makes it up there. It's getting. It's not getting close, but it's making a lot of money.
It probably will.
I hope so. Worldwide, it will.
Yeah, worldwide when you count those numbers.
Yep.
My number one recommend this week, just so I'm not too repetitive here, is that I'll just quickly recommend Avatar: The Last Airbender, the series. Like I said, I'm kind of trying to rewatch it here just to get refamiliarized with the characters and everything like that. And I didn't appreciate the shows when I was a kid. The humor really hits me. The action is really good, really kinetic. Just is a good animated show here. It's one of those animated shows that like you almost can't. A lot of times when you see an animated show as a kid, you're like, oh yeah, I like this as a kid. It was good for a kid. And then you kind of appreciate more as an adult. I almost feel like you can't really appreciate it. This one as a kid. It's almost just a little bit more of a higher up mentality or whatever, where it's like you can't.
Because I would say Avatar is one of the few cartoons that I would say kind of flirts with anime. Depending on how people describe that so differently. Cartoons, anime, but that one, in my mind, kind of flirts a little bit. Because some people I know that have watched it and like cartoons, don't like anime. And some people that are huge anime fans, they like this. And it's like, it's that one of those that's a mesh point between the two.
It's almost like they tried to pitch it as an anime to like other studios and then got turned down, and they finally just like pitched Nickelodeon. They're like, they greenlit it. And they're like, well, we're not going to be able to do it exactly how we want it to, but we'll get paid and we'll get it out there. So that's just my theory. I'm not saying that's actually what happened. But. Yeah. Well, that's going to do it for us here on this episode of Popcorn Bucket List. If you need some more content to check out here on YouTube, be sure to watch our latest Nerd Bracket where we determine the best Christopher Nolan movie through NCAA bracket style challenge here.
Elimination.
Yeah, elimination, all that sort of stuff. I am curious to see how this would have gone differently had we been able to see the Odyssey before we filmed this. I wonder if it probably would have changed up a little bit, probably, but I don't know. It would have been interesting if Oppenheimer would have gone up with that. I would have liked to seen you react to that there.
If it would have gone up against Oppenheimer?
Yeah.
As of right now, I might still have Oppenheimer, but I have such a special experience with it that it could be.
Yeah. But it would have been harder for you.
Oh,
and that would have been funnier for me.
So. Way harder.
Yeah. Also, last weekend we did another live stream of the very first ever Omni Open Masters Tournament. I found out that last weekend that the Open and Masters Tournament are two separate things. I honestly thought that was the same thing. That's why we named it that. But now it's just a fun spoof name.
Yeah,
so we did it on purpose.
Like now you got to put the Open Masters Tournament Classic.
Yeah.
You got to add the Classic next year.
That'll be next year's. Yep, exactly. So you'll be able to watch that on this channel as well. Even though if you didn't get a chance to see it live, you can still see it here as well. For myself, Ryan, and Carter, we'd like to thank you so much for watching, and we will see you at the movies.